Final Reflections and Artistic Mission Statement. Reflecting back on how my dance making has progressed this semester, I note a fundamental shift from dance making as an objective to dance making as an exploration of the experience in process itself. My initial entry point of thoughts on dance making centered around the use of dance as a tool and a means to communicate a specific intent. Coupled with this was a deep need for my work to reflect a tight structure and a concrete understanding of what I was doing at each moment. This, of course, stems from my primary training in ballet and the story context of most of the works I previously participated in. As we explored the initial readings of the Worcester Group, my resistance to just look around the room and think of the possibilities, not worry about the meaning, it's all here, and simply work with the stuff that comes up, was evident and difficult to overcome. Yet the idea of exploring the creation of a work without beginning with a theme or a message external to the work, but rather an immediate and concrete desire, where the ideas and themes emerging from the piece do so only in retrospect, fascinated me. During our first choreographic assignment of exploring movement within social dancing contexts, a fundamental shift in my perception of potential opportunities for movement in dance making occurred. Although social dancing has always been a delight and a space for improvisation and weighted movement, I had never previously considered it appropriate in the context of my professional career and studies. When social dance was placed and explored in the context of my insights from the Worcester Group readings, I experienced a profound awareness of the here and now. Based upon my peers' strong response to my work, I perceived a new potential for shared experience during the act of immediacy in performance. When I presented and explored the excerpts of Cage's lectures and articles, I found my intentions on ways of conceptualizing the creation of possibilities when working with movement in a purposeful, purposelessness manner. Here I experienced and began to value moving without thought to order or improvement, but rather simply experiencing what was occurring in the moment. My primary concern was investigating how to enter into movement characterized by process and not activity. I focused on overcoming preconceptions, letting go of the need for agreement of patterns and repetition so that I could note how movement arose and disappeared. I further explored the letting go of ego so that more intimate relationships with the experience could occur. Reflecting back on the movement I generated in response to the assignment of chance procedures and these readings, I vividly recall the building tension and density as the piece progressed, and how many of my habitual contextual impulses were lost, allowing for a more simultaneous internal impulse and external expression to occur. From Grotowski's Towards a Poor Theater, I began exploring a passive readiness to realize an active role, a state in which one does not want to do that, but rather resigns from not doing it. While further developing our exploration of social dance choreographies, I attempted alternating between avoiding my own personal idiosyncratic movement habits and intensifying them. Here I began to recognize points of egotism and self-enjoyment in the movement and its effects on my choreographic choices. Our experience with Patrick Benane was thought-provoking and insightful. I especially found the exercises exploring stream of consciousness to be applicable to my personal exploration of improvisation. When standing in front of my peers and speaking non-stop for a minute, I came to recognize the challenge and surprising outcomes of maintaining a stream of consciousness. I questioned what was the relationship between a non-stop impulse reaction to the awareness of observation by an audience. I also valued the exercises exploring the attentiveness to object and people in space and the intention of an action. These I perceive as experiences that carried over into my future dance making. Reflecting on the writings and works of Peter Brook and Richard Schechner, I have become interested in expanding the possibility of performance by questioning what is performative, what is participatory, and what is presentational. In environmental theater, Schechner theorizes that audience participation expands the field of what a performance is, because audience participation takes place precisely at the point where the performance breaks down and becomes a social event. In other words, participation is incompatible with the idea of a self-contained, autonomous, beginning, middle, and end artwork. These explorations of collaboration and audience participatory experience have greatly fascinated and influenced my artistic mission. In questioning what is performative or presentational in my current dance making, I looked to Peter Brook's definition of rough theater. In his text, The Empty Space, he states that in rough theater, the spectacle takes on its socially liberating role, for by nature, the popular theater is anti-authoritarian, anti-traditional, anti-pomp, anti-pretense. This is the theater of noise, and the theater of noise is the theater of applause. I perceive my final performance was a culmination and integration of the insights and explorations identified herein. Coupled with my personal fascination of technology and installation art, I have formulated the following. As our culture continues to evolve and new forms of interaction and experience emerge, questions about how art and experience are interrelated arise and are challenged. My current artistic mission is the exploration and reflection of how dance is and can be experienced in today's ever-increasing visual, technological, and social dependent world. I aim to question and explore how our receptive understanding and productive doing, both absorbing and responsively reconstructing what is experienced, where the experiencing subject both shapes and is shaped, occurs in the moment, and has changed in response to these new evolutions. I aim to deconstruct and challenge the audience's perceptions of art's placement and to bring about a new awareness of the immediacy of dance and its ever-evolving contexts. We'll tell you as soon as we start filming. How do you want me to position myself?